When people think of wealth in Scotland today, they usually imagine modern billionaires, fashion tycoons, tech investors, whiskey barons, and best-selling authors. Names like Anders Holch Povelson, J.K. Rowling, or major corporate dynasties dominate the headlines. But long before modern money existed, before banks, stock markets, or billionaires lists, a small group of families quietly built fortunes so deep that they still shape Scotland today. Their wealth is not just stored in bank accounts, it is written into the land itself. Castles that have stood for 700 years, estates larger than entire cities, titles granted by kings long dead, power passed down through bloodlines, marriages, and war. This is the world of old money. Today, we are counting down the top 5 richest old money families in Scotland, families whose influence was forged through centuries of ambition, loyalty, and sometimes ruthless decisions. These are not just rich families. They are living pieces of Scottish history. At number 5 stands one of the most royally connected families in Scotland, Clan Hamilton. The Hamiltons rose to power during the Wars of Scottish Independence, supporting Robert the Bruce when Scotland's future was uncertain. Their loyalty was rewarded with vast lands across Lanarkshire and the Lowlands. But the defining moment of their dynasty came through marriage. In the 15th century, James Hamilton married Princess Mary Stuart, daughter of King James II of Scotland. This single union changed everything. From that point forward, the Hamiltons were not just nobles, they were royal relatives. For much of the 16th century, the Duke of Hamilton was the heir presumptive to the Scottish throne, second only to the reigning monarch. Their proximity to power made them immensely influential and extremely dangerous to oppose. Their loyalty to the House of Stuart cost them dearly. During the English Civil War, James Hamilton, 1st Duke of Hamilton, supported King Charles I. He was captured and executed for treason in 1649. His brother later died fighting for the same cause. Yet despite executions, confiscations, and political chaos, the Hamiltons survived. Today, the Duke of Hamilton remains the premier peer of Scotland, the highest-ranking noble beneath the royal family. The family still holds hereditary duties linked directly to Holyrood Palace, the king's official residence in Scotland. Their wealth today lies in historic estates, land holdings, and priceless royal artifacts, including items connected to Mary, Queen of Scots. The Hamiltons are proof that royal blood never truly loses its value. At number 4, we take a different path. No medieval castles, no ducal titles. But make no mistake, this is old money in its purest modern form. The Gordon family, owners of William Grant and Sons, built one of the greatest family fortunes in Scottish history. It all began in 1886, when William Grant, a former cattle herder and bookkeeper, decided to build his own distillery. With the help of his children, he laid every stone by hand in Dufftown. On Christmas Day, 1887, the first spirit flowed from Glenfiddich Distillery. What followed was revolutionary. For decades, single malt whiskey was considered a local product. But in the 1960s, the Gordon family made a bold decision. They marketed single malt whiskey to the world. This move changed the global whiskey industry forever. Today, the family owns Glenfiddich, the Balvenie, Grant's, Hendrick's Gin, Tullamore DEW. And unlike most competitors, the company has never been sold. 5 generations later, it remains 100% family-owned. According to the 2025 Sunday Times Rich List, the Gordon family is worth over £6.3 billion, making them one of the richest families in Scotland, period. They may not own castles, but they own something just as powerful, a global empire built on patience, vision, and legacy. At number 3 is a family that combined royal blood, industrial wealth, and artistic obsession. The Crichton-Stuarts, Marquesses of Bute. They descend from King Robert II of Scotland, the first Stuart monarch. For centuries, they were respected nobles, but not extraordinary rich. That changed in the 19th century. Through strategic marriages, the family inherited massive coal and iron deposits in South Wales. The second Marquess of Bute made a daring gamble. He invested his fortune into building the Cardiff docks, transforming a small Welsh town into the world's busiest coal-exporting port. The gamble paid off beyond imagination. His son, the third Marquess, inherited this fortune as a baby, making him one of the richest men alive in Victorian Britain. But instead of industry, he pursued architecture, scholarship, and mysticism. He rebuilt Cardiff Castle, Castell Coch, Mount Stuart House. Mount Stuart became one of the most advanced houses of its time, the first home in Scotland with electric lighting. Though their wealth today is smaller than in the Victorian era, the family's estates, art collections, and heritage assets still represent extraordinary old money power. At number 2 is one of the wealthiest and most controversial families in Scottish history, the Leveson-Gower family Dukes of Sutherland. At their peak, they controlled over 1.3 million acres of land, making them the largest private landowners in Europe. Their wealth came from a powerful marriage that united English industrial fortunes with vast Scottish estates. But their name is forever linked to one of Scotland's darkest chapters, the Highland clearances. In the early 19th century, tens of thousands of Highland families were forcibly evicted from their ancestral lands. Entire villages were destroyed. Homes were burned to prevent return. The goal was profit, replacing people with sheep. For the families forced out, it meant poverty, famine, and mass emigration. The family seat, Dunrobin Castle, still stands today, a stunning structure overshadowed by painful history. Although their fortune has reduced over time, their remaining assets still represent one of the largest inherited fortunes in Britain. Their legacy is a reminder that wealth and suffering often grew side by side. At number 1 stands the ultimate symbol of Scottish old money power, the Scott family, Dukes of Buccleuch. They are the largest private landowners in Scotland. Their story begins in the Scottish borders as fierce warriors and reivers, feared across the region. But their rise to unmatched dominance came in 1663, when Anne Scott, Countess of Buccleuch, married James Scott, the illegitimate but favored son of King Charles II. That marriage sealed their destiny. Today, the Buccleuch estate controls approximately 200,000 acres across Scotland and England. Their holdings include Drumlanrig Castle, Bowhill House, vast agricultural and forest estates, one of the world's most valuable private art collections, including works by Rembrandt and Da Vinci. Their wealth cannot be easily calculated, because it is not just money, it is land, it is history, it is power accumulated over centuries. By every definition of old money, the Scott family stands undisputed at number 1. These 5 families prove one thing: new money can rise fast. Old money survives everything: wars, revolutions, executions, social change. Their influence remains carved into Scotland's landscape, in castles, estates, and titles that refuse to disappear. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's hidden elites, like the video, subscribe, and comment below. Which family shocked you the most? And where are you watching from?